Howdy folks, I'm Brian and here's some Reddit. Our first update today is titled, Am I a jerk for telling my parents I will have adult fun time in their house whether they like it or not? Hi guys, my last post got more replies than I thought it would, hence the update. Link to old post, and I'm also going to put something up here so that you can go to my video if you want to hear this one. You may have guessed it, when I made the post I was pretty upset with what had happened. I've since calmed down and thought about my options. Since no one knows how much longer my parents will need help with the mortgage, I decided to move out. If I had known it would be 6 months or even a year, it would be different, but I don't want to stay indefinitely. I think moving out is better for our relationship since they can't seem to understand that I am an adult who is used to living by herself, paying my own bills, and most importantly, having a certain amount of freedom. When I let them know what I had decided, they obviously weren't thrilled about it, but in the end they understood and agreed that it was for the best. I suggested that they could rent out my room to make some extra money, and it seemed like that was what was going to happen. The house is pretty nice and in a good spot, so it shouldn't be too hard to find somebody. As for myself, I'll be moving into my own place again. I'm currently looking at some houses and apartments, and it looks like I'm either moving to the CBD or beach suburb. Thanks all guys. It all turned out pretty well, I'd say. Alright OP, well I'm glad to hear that things are working out a little bit better for you. I don't know what your parents are expecting for whatever person that they're going to rent to, the room to. I still think they're going to encounter the same kind of issues, so I don't know why they don't just give you a certain amount of freedom, because it seems like that's probably going to be what's easiest. But hopefully in the end this works out best for everyone, because then they're not going to end up having any kind of control over your life. So yeah, I think that you're making a good decision here. But anyhow, take care and good luck. It shouldn't be too hard to find someone. It will be if they include not allowed to have adult fun time stipulation in the advert. That's what I'm thinking. It's like, what are you folks doing? All right, our first story is titled, Am I a Jerk for Making a Punny Wall of Shame for People Who Stole from My Mom's Garden? My mom is really into gardening, and sometimes people have come by and stolen planted pots, yard statues, and even dug whole plant bulbs with the plants out of the ground, or cut all the roses off her bushes because they were too cheap to buy from the florist, I guess. Anyway, my dash cam on my car, which I park in the driveway near the garden bed, caught most of them close up. And, as a way to help my mom not have to worry about having her plants stolen, I printed all of the pictures out and made a poster that said, Oh hey there, don't be a Daffy Dill and steal. Or else you might end up doing hard time. We hope this'll be a lesson to you. All, of course, the plant names. Very punny. And I put the pictures of everyone stealing from the garden around the border. Also gave each person a funny fake name: Mr. Potato Head, Dill-a-taint, Pothead, Prick, Sucker, I Peony My Pants, Frondless, Dirtbag, Infertile, and Root Boy. I thought it was funny and cutesy, like how can you be offended with a dumb plant pun? My mom thought it was hilarious and wanted me to hang it up because she was sick of seeing her stuff stolen. But I got a couple of complaints. One neighbor said I needed to take down because it had a picture of his son, a minor, who did something dumb, yes, but was just trying to bring his sick girlfriend flowers. And this was disproportionate and rude to publicly shame him. I told him that it wasn't that big of a deal, and he told me I was being petty. I called his kid a little birch, which made him mad and honestly might have been petty. Another guy came to the house and returned a cutting his wife apparently took to propagate it, thinking it would be no big deal. But yeah, it damaged the plant because she cut like a quarter of it off. And he asked if we would take down the sign because she was on the board of directors or something from the town or whatever. My mom had answered the door and told him to make like a bee and buzz off. Anyway, I guess they both know each other, and now both these families are annoyed. Am I the jerk for making a petty sign about people stealing from my mom's garden, hoping to get them to stop? Alright, OP. Probably not. I don't think that you're really a jerk in this situation. My one caution here, I'm not a lawyer, this isn't legal advice, but you should check the laws in your state because sometimes minors are protected from having their pictures used without their permission. Adults, probably you're fine because you have the copyright. Those are pictures that you took, so there's probably not much they can do. Though, again, it really depends on whether the law is on your side or not. Probably it will be on your side for adults. So, these people, they took stuff that belonged to your mom, and you were just trying to make a punny wall of shame, and, it wasn't that big of a deal, but it does let people know that, hey, we were watching you, and don't steal stuff. So, in the future, hopefully people will get the idea that it's not welcome to have your mom's stuff stolen. Now, again, these people, they did something wrong. It might be fun to keep it up for a little while and then take it down. I don't know how long you intend on holding this up for, but yeah, maybe it might be nice to eventually take it down. But all in all, I mean, no, you're not the jerk here. These people, what they did was wrong. They know what they did was wrong. And who takes a quarter of a plant clipping? Who takes a clipping of a plant without asking someone first? Like, it wouldn't have been hard for them to knock. It's like here's what gets me. They sure figured out how to knock on your mom's door once their pictures were up for everyone to see. And, yeah, it seems like that would have been easy enough to do. To be like, hey, we really like your flowers. Can we buy them? Or, hey, can I buy a clipping off you? Or, hey, can I have a clipping? It really is not that big of a deal to ask something like that. But they took it upon themselves just to go ahead and help themselves. And I do think that a lesson is warranted here. So, no, I don't think that you're a jerk in this situation. Not the jerk these people stole. That's a crime. And instead of pressing charges or whatever, you have created something truly delightful. I wish I were half as clever as you because I'd come up with a pun of my own. Not only are you not a jerk, but you are also my hero. Jumping on top comment, if you don't want your photo displayed, refrain from stealing the plants. If you don't want your photos displayed, but you would like to continue stealing the plants, we can press charges in place of displaying your photo. The choice is yours, not the jerk. Not the jerk. If they don't like it, they can get clover it. Another plant pun. I really do enjoy these plant puns. I thought they were great. All right, our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for telling my future mother-in-law that I'm glad I wasn't raised by someone as judgmental as her? I'm a 22-year-old female, along with my sisters, a 26-year-old female, a 25-year-old female, and a 24 female. And we were all adopted from foster care by our dads when we were under the age of 10. Our biological parents were bad people, and they left us all with issues at the time and made us unadoptable. We were separated for almost 6 months before I was initially fostered by our dads, who upon learning I was one of 4, fought to get us back together and to keep us that way, and they did. I was 4 and finally had a loving family, a whole family. I always felt so incredibly blessed to have them. There's no single word that could sum up how much I love and appreciate them for keeping us together and giving us a home. I met my fiancé in freshman year of college. We got engaged in lockdown. I had met his family before, but not too often. During lockdown, we stayed away from our families because we didn't want to put anyone at risk. In the last month or 2, we've been branching out more though. About 2 weeks ago, we were invited to his parents for dinner. While we were there, the topic of adoption came up and fostering came up, and my fiancé mother made a comment about being it the least desirable option and not anyone's first choice to have a family. She followed that up with not understanding 2 men or 2 women raising children together and not making any sense for the kids to have that. My fiancé cut in before she could say any more and told her that she was out of line and that her views were hurtful and very outdated. She acted all offended and told him she was allowed to express her opinions and feelings. I couldn't hold it in any longer, and I told her I was glad I wasn't raised by someone as judgmental as her, and instead was raised by two incredible men who gave 4 girls the family they would never have had otherwise. When we left, my fiancé told his mom that she was being a jerk. His siblings and him were talking afterwards, and they all said what their mom said was wrong, but that I was way out of line and made things worse. They said I ended up being the biggest jerk in the whole ordeal instead of smiling and politely leaving it to him. Am I the jerk? All right, OP. Sometimes we say things in the heat of anger that we wouldn't normally say. You were really hurt by this. You were really offended by how rude she was being. And you wanted to defend 2 people that you love very much and who gave you basically a life that you wouldn't have had otherwise. And, honestly, I can't blame you for standing up to her and telling her off. I really can't. The thing is that what she did say was very hurtful to you, and it sounds like she knew that you were adopted and raised by 2 men, and she was voicing a opinion that she should have just not voiced. Maybe what you said wasn't necessarily the best or most tactful way of phrasing it, but given the situation, I would say that you are probably exponentially less of a jerk in this situation than what she was being. So, no, I don't think that you're a jerk in this situation. I think that, if her attitude is like this, then you may end up not having a very good relationship with her, and your boyfriend may end up having to cut them off eventually. And if he is all right with that and he's aware of that situation, then hopefully, you two can move forward. But unless she changes her ways or, doesn't say these kinds of hurtful things to you, I don't know. It might be a really hard family situation. Anyhow, take care. Good luck. You are so very much not the jerk, it makes my head spin. Could you have been more diplomatic? Sure. Should you have been? I probably wouldn't have been. Good on you, and give your dads a hug for me. They sound like the kind of people we need more of in this world. Yes, this exactly. Why should you leave it to your partner to fight your battles for you? Do your future brother-in-laws expect you to be the quiet little missy in the kitchen? Please do pass me the bucket. All right, our final letter is titled, Am I a jerk for grounding my daughter when she wouldn't let her cousin use her drawing tablet? Not a native English speaker. In early 2018, my daughter, May, 20, bought a drawing tablet. It still works fine to this day. Yesterday, my niece, Jazz, a 12-year-old female, and my sister came to visit. Jazz wanted to play in May's room, and she said okay. After a few hours, Jazz came out crying, saying that May was being mean and wouldn't let her draw. My sister and Jazz left. I asked May what happened, and she said that Jazz kept drawing hard on the tablet even though May had told her not to. She was scared that the pen and tablet might be damaged, so she took it away and won't let her draw with it anymore. She offered other things to do, like draw on paper, play games, etc., but Jazz wanted to draw on the tablet. May kept refusing, and Jazz cried. I told her that she's 20 now, and she should know how to share. Jazz knows not to break the tablet. May told me that the tablet is still in good shape, which it is, because she takes care of it, and she doesn't have to share her electronics if she doesn't want to. I was angry at her selfishness and grounded her by taking away her iPad and tablet for a week. She just rolled her eyes and said, whatever. Now she keeps ignoring me, and my wife is keeping out of this. Am I the jerk? Alright, OP. You took your 20-year-old daughter's drawing tablet? She's 20. She's an adult. And I mean, I don't know if this is in the US or not, but most places I think the age of majority is 18. Maybe she's living at home, but I think that a lot of people right now in the current climate of the world are also living at home. So I don't think it's really your place to ground your 20-year-old daughter. Like, this is the thing that I don't understand is like, the time to teach kids morals is when they are young. And when they become adults, if they're jerks, it's not your responsibility anymore to teach them the proper moral ways. That was what you were supposed to do for the first 18 years. Now, she's an adult, she gets to make her own decisions, and she gets to make her own life choices. I think that while she is living under your roof, your grounding of her seems nonsensical. What are you going to do? Teach her to share? I just don't know. She's not going to let her use the tablet she bought with her own money so that Jazz can break it. You should also trust that your 20-year-old daughter knows what is best for her own possessions. In this case, your 20-year-old daughter is a full-grown adult and she can make decisions like this. Your 12-year-old niece needs to learn that she can't always get her own way. And yeah, that's really what I see here. So no, I don't think you should be doing this. I do think that you're a bit of a jerk in the situation. But yeah, anyhow, take care and good luck. You're the jerk. She's 20 now, so you should have the maturity to allow her to make her own decisions with her own items. So back at you. Do you let anyone who wants to touch your stuff touch it? I doubt it. OP, listen. I come from a family-oriented perspective. But this is not being selfish and a not unwillingness to share. This is her being responsible enough to buy herself and responsible enough to treat it appropriately. Let's say it was damaged. Would you pay to fix it? You're the jerk. You grounded a 20-year-old for not allowing a child to destroy her property. You owe her an apology. Yeah. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a like. If you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.